Welcome all to a Tuesday night watch talk. I am Bobby Legs. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out tonight. And we have a full crowd. We have a full boat here tonight, and we're going to be talking about watches and having a good old time. I hear a little background sound. So somebody has their speaker on. Rod, do you have your speaker on your
I think it might be me. I don't know for sure. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, it must be on your end, Ra, even though you're muted now. I can't hear you. Yeah.
Let's see if it happens to me.
Yeah.
Maybe I do need my stupid headphones.
Yeah. Well, why don't you go on mute and then put the headphones on, and then but we'll say hello to everybody. Yeah. Wolfgang, how you doing, man? What's going on?
Good. Thank you.
Yeah. You're gonna.
Vision today.
What do you got there?
The Our Vision Omega.
Oh yeah, very very nice. Yeah. That's a DeVille?
Yep. With the where you see the movement from the side.
Oh yeah, right.
And
Excellent. Yeah, very very nice.
That from my oldest.
Yeah, and it's great to have you here. You're going to be going back to the motherland soon for a couple months, so it's really great to have you live, and thank you for coming on. Dan, how are you, my friend? What's going on, man?
Doing good. Good to be on the show.
Yeah. What you sporting on this night?
Today I'm wearing my NASA that I customized a little bit.
Oh yeah. You're becoming quite the G-Shock modder, huh?
Not really.
Hey Chris, what's going on, man? I think you might be on mute.
Hey, how's it going?
Thank you for joining us this evening. Really appreciate that. And what do you got on wrist there?
I just literally got this today.
Oh boy. We got a reveal. Going to solo layout. Oxen Jr., huh?
Oxen Jr.
Nice.
Is that the perpetual calendar too?
No, this is the moon phase with the
moon
date.
Phase?
Yeah. It's got the gold leaf indices and logo and gold hands. I literally just got it in the mail today.
Is that the one that has all the dots for the days of the month?
Yeah.
Okay.
I bought 3 watches in the last, so I have my main that I just bought as well.
Yeah.
And then I bought a Hoyer 510
from Whatnot, right?
From Whatnot, I got this 510 501. So I bought like 3 watches in the last few.
Yeah, man. I've been on Whatnot a lot, especially the last couple of days. Not so much for the
purchase.
Yeah.
Caraval, the Bulova brand, the old hand wound. I got it for $20. They're going for like insane. Really good value on that.
I've been on the coin and bullion auctions, and I actually won my first auction yesterday, and won the next 20. So, but coins, you know what I mean. So we're not talking like it's bad. It's bad.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I mean, like I was like, it's one of those things where like if the price is good, if it's better than what I can get from any other online dealer or on eBay, then I'm gonna do it, right? I mean,
absolutely.
So you know how it is. Ra, how you doing, man?
Doing good.
You're on location.
Yeah, I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's actually very beautiful here. I was caught off guard.
Yeah.
I've never been here before, and the city is so clean because I come from New York City.
Yeah,
So
yeah, 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 yeah,
being it, there's very few people. It's almost like being an I Am Legend. It's
yeah.
like you walk around and it's like it's just me.
Yeah,
Like I cross
yeah.
the street, I don't even look for cars because there ain't
Right,
none. You
right,
know.
right, right. Are you gonna are the twins in town? Are you gonna make it to a game maybe or?
No, no. This is a. I'm not gonna have time.
Okay,
I'm not gonna have time.
strict
We have a
business trip.
bunch of work stuff tomorrow, and then
Yeah,
fly out tomorrow morning. So I mean, the day after tomorrow, Thursday morning.
gotcha.
So, but I bought my what the IWC on this one. I have my JLC also, but I've been rocking this, and I love this watch. It's a great watch. This one's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Awesome, awesome. And I got the Submariner on this evening,
Mhm.
so very very cool. Let's check with the chat and and uh, and see how everybody's doing. Hey Bill, how you doing? What's going on? Marceau is here. James is here. How you doing, James? Wilson, how you doing? Chaz is here. B-Dev, what's going on? James is here. How you doing, sir?
Creator.
Uh, hey, Chris from the Watch Sounds is here. What's going on, buddy? Keith is here. Pale Horse, how are you? KR Joy is here. How you doing? BJ, Hobby Bobby's in the house. Justin at EDC is here. Peter C. Caliber is here. What's up? Karan, how are you? Good to see you. Navy Blue Monster. AZ Clayton is here. Nerio is here. How you doing? Scrolling down. Peter, Time Hill, I think I may have mentioned already. Nilo is here. How you doing, Nilo? Jared, what is up? Wilson is here. Good to see you. Justin, how you doing? He is always strapped in. Jeffrey O'Neill is here, and Navy Blue Monster. I think I already said hello to you, Stefan. What is going on? And before we get into tonight's topic, I wanted and I thank Chris for joining us. And Chris, we've seen this wave of YouTubers changing the names of their channel, right, to their personal names. And I would like to, I'm glad that you're here, and I want you to, let us know what your take is, because I think you probably have an interesting take, as you do with a lot of topics in the watch community. And so yeah, let me give you the floor. I gotta jump off real quick because my son is acting up, and I gotta go take care of him. So Dan, if you want to quarterback for a
down.
little bit, I'd appreciate it. Sorry about that, guys, but Chris, please, the floor is yours.
So, from a perspective for someone who has like a smaller YouTube channel like I do, and someone who I think has a name that probably doesn't ring as well as many of the people who are changing their channels to their personal names. Like my name, my last name, my first name is it's basically like two first names. Anyway, it doesn't sound good, and I don't think I would be able to do it. But I think a lot of them are doing it because YouTube are advising them to do it through the YouTube program, the partner program. So I have a YouTube partner. I was assigned a YouTube partner at the beginning of this year, and they give us advice on things like this. So they tell us, because of business purposes, separating your name and your brand obviously would be beneficial for you personally. So having your name as your channel, so it's something that you could actually diversify. Then you could maybe do other things besides watches, and then although focusing on watches, they obviously if you're focusing on one thing, you should be really just focusing on that. But they do advise you to do certain things like this, and I'm sure that I was probably told that was a good idea, and I just never did it because it would never work for my name, I don't think. So
Yeah, I mean, and I like your name because, like, when I see your channel name, there's no ambiguity on what you're talking about.
yeah, but that's the point though. I think that so like the channels who have done it, some of the bigger channels, some of the smaller channels, like Brittany Pierce, right? The Watch Gringa, she just
Yeah.
changed hers to her name.
Right.
She's definitely being advised to do that by, I would imagine, YouTube, and she's probably getting, she's probably trying to develop a brand, whether it's using her name or creating a brand separate from her name. So
See, the thing I have a problem with that is, especially like her husband has some killer watches. Like I kind of see it as a security issue. Like it has happened before in the UK where a YouTuber got his house got broken into and robbed for watches. So, I mean, I would have changed it because I didn't like the Gringa part of her name, but to put
Yeah, I
her
didn't
full
like that.
name, I think it's a security risk. Like if I was in UK, it probably wouldn't be that hard to find her.
I mean, you could find anybody these
Yeah.
days. You could find
Yeah.
me if you wanted to find
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
But
but don't make it easier for them.
no, you are making it easier because you're putting your last name out there. The problem is that a little while ago I had an issue with what's the bald guy's name? He has a channel. He dogs like everything he talks about on there. Ben's Watch Club.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So I didn't personally have a problem with it, but what I had a problem with was that he put my name in one of his videos, my whole name,
Right.
my first and last name.
Right.
I didn't do anything about it. I just emailed him. I was like, "Hey, I'd appreciate it if you'd remove it," and he's just like,
Right.
didn't give a crap. Did not give a crap.
Really? Oh yeah.
Really.
That's not cool.
And then there's another YouTuber that is here on Long Island, actually, that I've emailed back and forth with, and he was the guy who actually accepted money for a review, and then a bunch of people, like Watch Addiction channel, I think it's called. Anyway, long story short, but my name got out there, for a minute, and it was fine. It wasn't like people didn't like do anything, but my name was out there, like it was out there.
Right.
And I don't know. I wouldn't want my name. I'm not adverse to it. And like I said, when I got into the partnership program and I was assigned a manager, so I have a YouTube manager. It's a person who I talk to when I have a problem or things are happening in my channel. And, I'm sure that she would want me to change it to my name for whatever purpose or reason, but I don't think I would ever do it.
No, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
All right. There was a bug in the room, so I had to come to the rescue. Ken Spear is checking in from Pittsburgh. How are you, Ken? I got jumped here. Random Rob saying changing name is silly. Yeah. Well, Random Rob's got a great name for a channel, so I wouldn't change it. Neo's here. How are you, Neo? Rob will always be random. That is true. Karan is saying, damn, I should go with about Karan. People will think all about Karan. Yeah, there you go. Let's see here. James is saying, "Oh, my aliases have gone brand value with that have more brand value than my real name." Yes, we know James as James Duffy, for sure. Wilson's saying is, "I will change my name to Wolfgang and shave my head." Okay. Oh, Ben. Okay, great. So I'm sorry, Chris. I got you on here because I wanted to hear your take, and I missed the whole thing. So I'm just gonna have to like go back and listen to it. I apologize.
Very quick synopsis of what I said. Basically, I think that from my perspective, I wouldn't do it because I don't think my name is very catchy. It's not something
Mhm.
that I like my name, but it's not
Yeah.
something that I think people will remember, or it's not something that rolls off the tongue easy, like Britney Pierce or
Right.
something like that. And then I think that like Britney probably around this time has gotten a YouTube manager. I think she has probably around the same amount of subscribers that I have, and she probably got somebody, and they are advising her to change the name of her channel to her
Okay.
name. Yeah,
Gotcha.
and I think
Gotcha.
I think that advice is probably given to a lot of, because they want you could keep focused in on one thing, but it's watches, you get a lot of views, you don't get as many views as lifestyle.
Right.
It's sort of like what Roman Sheriff
Mhm.
did, because Roman, the Luxury Bazaar channel, it was Luxury Bazaar, then he changed it to Roman Sheriff. Why?
Yeah.
Because Roman Sheriff, his lifestyle is what I
Mm.
barely go to his channel for watch content.
Right.
I barely
Yeah.
see any watches. It's like he shows
Right.
some watches from 10 yards away. It's like,
Yeah, it's mostly vlogs.
it's a vlog.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And that's
It's a
why
vlog, yeah.
when he started doing that, he blew up,
Mm.
And for me, I'm not looking to vlog. All I want to do is look at watches and talk about watches. So
Yeah.
all I've
Gotcha.
ever wanted to do, and that's all I'm gonna do. So my life is not very interesting. So
Yeah.
I didn't realize Roman changed his YouTube channel name. It doesn't make sense having a business, because then as soon as you hit that channel, you're associated with that business, and then you go look at his internet store. I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Wilson saying Bobby Legs is a tough name to follow. Neff is saying my last name is 13 letters, so it's not rolling off any tongues unless you are German, of course. Bobby Lifestyles. Okay, I'm getting some name suggestions here. All right, yeah, Bobby Lifestyles. Bobby Legs loves lifestyles. Justin saying, watch Chris works in multiple ways. We are watching Chris right now. Right. Okay. Fair enough. Justin, a little Captain Obvious situation going on there. So let's get talking about the topic that I want to talk about tonight, right? And it comes from a podcast. I believe it's called. Was it about effing time? I think that's the name of it.
Yeah.
And they had Adrian. Speaking of changing names to Adrian Barker on there, and they were talking about watches that they love. I'm doing a little paraphrasing here. Watches that they love, but that they would never ever buy, right? And so I felt like that was like kind of like I'll borrow that from them and have this exercise with you guys, and maybe fine tune it a little bit. And has there been a watch that you guys love, right? But and could afford to buy, but you just can't get yourself to get there to buy it. Promise yourself that you would buy it. I'm going to buy it at the end of the year, and then either something comes up, another watch comes up, and you just go for that instead, and you just keep on kicking the can down the road, with that watch, and to a point where you're probably never ever going to get that watch, but you still love it. Wolfie, is this something along that line? And please chat if there's one of those in your life. Please let us know. We'd like to hear about it. Wolfie, has there been a watch like that? I mean, you're prolific, man. You know what I mean? Like you see something you want, you get it, and that's what's great about you. But there's something that you just love that you just can't get yourself to buy.
I mean, there could be a few reasons. If it's too small, it could look great, but it's too small.
Yeah.
Then it's it kind of goes out of the consideration. If it's too expensive,
Yeah.
Thinking site work date, always loved it.
Yeah.
Could afford it theoretically, but it's
Yeah.
so much money that I hesitate. Might be the money that keeps me from doing it, or it could be something that, like the Freak X is an example. The more I see it, I feel like I'm warming up to it, but I'm never really getting there of really
That's a
considering.
Wolfie watch. That's a Wolfie watch.
That totally is a Wolfie watch.
Yeah.
It's maybe in the future, but I've been seeing it a few times last 6 months, and I'm liking it. I'm liking it, and this color and this color, but I'm not there yet,
Yeah.
So, but I want to listen to the other guys. I'm kind of that question is hard.
Yeah, no. Granted, I think I sprung it on you pretty late here. Chaz, before we get to Rod, Chaz says most every Panerai fits that description for me, and he's not the only person. I've heard that before too. That I think that Panerai fits that description, but just can't get around to pull the trigger. Kevin S. Wolfie owns every watch he loves and can afford to buy. Trick question for Wolfie. Neff says he wants the Parmigiani Tanda 1950. I love that watch too. I love that watch. But I would not put that on the list of watches that I love and I would never ever buy because I think if I could I would if I found the right one and then it was the right time I would buy that watch. Ra, what do you got on your list?
There's two, but the main one is the Zenith Chronomaster, the El Primero Classic Cars with the brown dial that looks like fabric on it.
Yeah.
And some striations on it. It's a very beautiful watch. Comes with the racing strap, and I despise racing straps. But I think with like a brown weathered strap, cracked brown leather strap on there, that would be a gorgeous piece. And I've been thinking about that combination for easily 4 years.
Yeah. Wow.
And like, I want to do it. And then there's a part of me that says, if you get it, you can have it. You're going to get the strap made, and it's going to be in the watch box. And then that's where it's going to be. Like, you're never going to wear it because you wear so many, other watches, and the Brigade, the Type 21. I mean, it's not going to get more wear time than that. That's never going to happen. So it's like, I want to do that combination. I want to have it, but I know I'll just never get around to wearing it.
Yeah.
Never. And the second one, I think, is one Wolfie has, is the JLC GMT diver.
Yeah.
With the small GMT hand.
Big boy.
I have arguably the worst eyesight in the world. And the small GMT hand on that, like, I would literally be like,
Yeah.
I would have to ask, honey, my wife, honey, can you, what time is it? What time is it in New York right now? I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I love that watch to death. I mean, that for me, that's like one of the most perfect watches ever made. But I just can't, I wouldn't be able to enjoy the GMT function on it. So, it's like, wow. My favorite brand too. It's like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that would be a bummer, right? I mean, like you're so close. I mean, that watches everything, and then you just can't read that little.
I have a roll of GMTs. Like, I have to be able to read it quickly.
Yeah.
And I have that GMT 50th anniversary, the Omega one. Like, you look at that, block away. Okay, it's 6 a.m. in London. Bam.
Yeah.
And I can't just do it with that one. And it's like one of my top 3 watches, that JLC. It's easily the bracelet. Forget about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Marceau is saying I could really stretch and get a Hublot Red Magic. I like that a lot, but I'd never do it. AZ Clayton saying blank upon 50 fathoms in the current production sizes. Only the limited ones come in 40 millimeter.
Yeah.
Michael B saying the PAM 111.
Ooh, I like that one.
Marceau's agreeing with the Wolfie Freak X is totally awesome. The Magma version is killer. White dial Panerai Luminor submersible 42 millimeter has been though that watch for me. 8.5K is ridiculous for that chintzy bezel. Dan, I have you get extra points today because you actually sent me a picture, a couple pictures of some of the watches on your list. Let me pull up one as we speak, and then you can. Oh, let's go here. Come on. Okay. Okay. Coming right up. Sorry.
So this is the Santos,
Yeah.
specifically the medium. I don't like the large because it has the date.
Mhm.
The medium has a no date.
Mhm.
I've tried this watch on like 6 or 7 times. I drool over it on Instagram. I love how it looks. Every time I put it on, I'm just like, meh. I don't know what it is.
Katie can
Yeah.
wear it. You can't wear that watch.
It's not the size. It's just like when I put it on, I'm just like bored. I'm like falling asleep. I don't get it
Because it's
because
so
I'm
small.
looking at this picture right now and I love it.
Yeah, but on your wrist it looks like that doesn't work. You have a very manly wrist. You can't
No,
wear
but
that.
even the large, I don't like. I've tried the large too.
I just bought the large, the extra large. I bought the D.
You have the
ADLP
black
version.
one, right? Yeah, maybe I need to try that on. I don't know because I like this steel and it's just like I love it in pictures. Every time it pops up on Instagram, I hit the heart right away, and I don't know. I've tried it
Okay.
on a couple times.
I love it. I don't know if I'm staying in love with it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And usually when I buy a watch, it's like a lot of, it's like this. I read up on it, and there's like 100 different reasons why I think it's awesome, and I think a lot of people won't think it's awesome, but I think that doesn't matter. And specifically, I want something that, and this was like the first sort of, very mainstream watch that I bought, and I just don't find myself wearing it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I love the Santos too, and I had one that I bought for my wife that was a little too big on her, and I was wearing it. Um, got rid of it because I just had too many three-handers and without any complications, and it had to go. We still talk about doing a couple Santos, like a couple's Santos, like one for her, one for me, at some point. But I don't think she's not gonna like the bezel because she's the kind, she's gonna, as soon as it gets scratched up and scuffed up, it's gonna piss her off. So I mean, I think she likes the Speedmaster, so it looks like maybe we'll do that one day. That works for me as well. But I love the Santos. I love the Santos. Dan, you got another one here as well.
Yep.
Let's see here. It's not coming up. Come on. All
So
right.
this is the Grand Seiko SBGK 005 is the manual wind blue Iwate dial. It's long gone. I mean, it was a limited edition from like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I freaking love this dial. I mean, if this dial was in any other case, it would already be on my wrist. Cause this is another one. I tried it on like 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I see pictures of it, I'm just like, oh. But this case ruins the watch for me.
It's a weird looking case.
The case just is, you know what? It's not bad. It's not offensive, but it's just like uninspiring. It just,
I
don't know. I want to love it. And I do love the dial, but the case ruins the watch for me.
It's almost like it's too round, the case.
Yeah. Too bulbous. Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Casio is saying I keep going back and forth on a Chinese tourbillon.
Don't
That's
do
interesting. Hobby Bobby saying the Chopard
Yeah.
Mille Miglia for me. Yeah, those are cool. Let's see, anybody else here? Fears Brunswick.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good looking one. Colin, for me, I think of the Tag Heuer Monaco, Steve McQueen.
That's a good one.
I love that watch.
Mm-hmm.
That could have made my list. That could have made my list because I really, really love that watch. I love everything about, the it being the Monaco and me been to Monaco and getting a watch with the name of the city that I've been to. You know what I mean? Like that whole thing. But I still haven't pulled the trigger on it. Yeah. Bobby's Watch Medicine saying I think the Piaget Polo for me. I just can't seem to pull the trigger on that one.
Bobby, does anybody make a Jersey City watch?
A Jersey City watch? No,
Yeah, Jersey City watch.
no, that would miss. And nor should they. And if they ever do, then I'm gonna burn it down. Um, great city, Jersey City. It's just not a watch city. I don't know. Santos is my favorite watch. Scott says. Um, Scratch magnet. It certainly has that reputation. Javi Bobby saying Ray Los Santos I love, but I could never buy one due to the scratch magnet bezel. Justin is I totally dig the Speedies, even want one, but never seem to put my money down. It always because I feel there's so many Speedies, right? Like you feel like okay, I don't have to. I want one. I don't have to buy it now because they're always going to be there. And then you keep on saying that to yourself and never end up getting one, right? I feel like that's what's happening with me with Speedies as well. Chris, do you have anything in particular?
Sure. There's a few watches actually.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll start with the whole brand. I mean, before the pandemic, probably 2 years, maybe a year before the pandemic started, I wanted to get a Rolex. I wanted to get a Pepsi GMT. And something about Rolex, every time I have gone to possibly purchase a Rolex, I always end up getting something else. And I've never actually owned a Rolex in my collection ever. So it's something about me, I don't know, but it's just become a thing. And now, with prices skyrocketing and then now coming down a little bit, even then, I still think that I don't think I'll ever own one for personal reasons. And there's nothing wrong. I like Rolex.
Yeah.
I would love to have a Rolex in my collection. I'm not sure I would wear it, and that's kind of the problem. So I'm not a Rolex guy.
Yeah.
I know, Bobby, you are a fanboy of Rolex.
I am.
So, but yeah, and then another one that's a standout for me, and I've basically this question is tailored for this watch, and I think someone already brought it up in the chat. The 50 Fathoms. You can't walk into a store and buy a standard 50 Fathoms that's under 45 millimeters. If you want, I just went to an event at the Blancpain boutique here in New York City, and I went and I looked at every single, and they have the Bathyscaphe, which I have a vintage Bathyscaphe, but they're all huge, and the only ones that are around that 40 millimeter range are special editions, and they're $5,000 or $6,000 more than the standard 45 millimeter edition. So I'll buy maybe a used one. I would buy one of the the trilogy, the Concept 2000 version with the weird bezel, and maybe even mod it and put an aftermarket bezel on it so it looks more like a classic 50 Fathoms. But I would never buy. I would love to, but the 45 millimeters just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
I love the Barracuda
45 millimeter watch. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. I just noticed that I don't feel my for a watch that large, it's not comfortable on my wrist. So
I know exactly what you mean.
So I'll ask the panel this: has there been a watch that you've loved? All the pictures are great, the renderings are great. You've never seen it in person, and then you've seen it in person, and then you're like, nope, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. I mean, or not the worst thing I've seen. Not that extreme, but like the letdown was just
Oh yeah.
like immense. Dan, it sounds like
Gray side. Gray side.
gray side.
Oh,
I freaking love that thing, and that's another one I've tried on like 6 times, and every time I put it on, I feel dead inside.
wrong, so wrong.
There ain't no coming back from that.
I just saw it again.
I love it.
I forgot to text Jazz. This is so good.
Yeah. Hopefully Chaz had his earmuffs on. Ra, anything like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, well, actually, I knew his father, and he sold the business to his son. His father was a Rolex AD out here in the desert. And his son runs the business. I know him too. And I go in there, and they sell some used stuff behind the counter. And I finally run into the watch I always wanted, because I'm a big Magnum PI fan. So there goes a Rolex Pepsi, 16710. I'm like, oh, wow. Hey, can I try that on? It's like, yeah, sure. Here you go.
Yeah.
Put it on, see how it feels. And I was like, wow. And, I know that it's older, and I should not expect the same level of, heft and tightness.
Yeah.
That jangly bracelet.
Yeah. And it felt,
Yeah.
I hate to use this word because now people are going to come after me.
Feels cheap.
I'm not telling you what hotel I'm at, guys, but it felt chintzy.
Yeah.
It felt
And
cheap.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
It's like an SKX.
man.
Yeah.
Wow. But I know at the time, when I first saw it, when I was like a little boy, in that Magnum episode, Home from the Sea, I still remember the name. I was like, man, look at that watch. Wow. One day when I finally get to try it on.
How about a modern one though? Would you consider a modern one?
I would, but I'm not going to play the games to get a modern one.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to do that.
Right.
So that's what I was looking
I
at.
don't play games. I want to watch.
Vintage.
I want to be able to walk in, buy it, walk out. And every watch I have is one that I was able to do that with. So no, I'm not going to do that. And the modern ones look great. I like them. The white gold one is like,
Yeah.
that thing's a home run all day. But I'm just not going to go there. And then,
Chris, you're saying, Chris?
I was looking at a vintage. That's what I was looking at, a birth year Pepsi GMT, and just it was actually at a pretty good price, but I was like, it just felt
It just wasn't there.
You're not getting your money's worth.
And I mean, it was a lot of money, and then I just like walked over to the Vacheron section. And I was just like, let me see that world timer, and that's what I did. So that's what I did. That was when I bought my world timer, because it was a little bit more money, and I got
way better.
Yeah, in my opinion. I mean, that's one of my favorite watches. I'll always love that watch. But that's it.
Hey Pete, how you doing? Catching up with the chat here. Went to the Rolex. Yeah. Went for the Rolex and got a turn on Gotham. That happened to me. Yes. Thank you for bringing that up, Kevin. Painful memory from 15 years ago. Bathscape is fine, but it's not as nice. Swatch Group has no idea to sell watches. Goes really wrong with the high-end stuff. Problem with Omega is that all their watches are 2 millimeters thicker than they should be. I think I'm jumping into some conversations here, guys. Sorry about that. Let's see here. Wolfie, anything that comes to mind when
that's easy to answer for me.
Yeah.
Because the big Planet Oceans, the ceramic ones, like there's a black with red accents on it, and absolutely, I remember back in the day when it came out, killer on the pictures on the website. In person, total disappointment for me. The steel ones are much better in person. There's something about them, hard to explain, way off proportions, too thick, not long enough on the wrist, something. That will always stick in my head for that experience when you think, oh, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna put it on, it's gonna be awesome, and then it's just a dud.
Yeah, that's a bummer, man. That's a bummer.
It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, Chris, anything comes to mind
Uh,
other than the GMT?
all tutors.
Oh, okay.
Damn. Hans is rolling in his grave.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The Lagos is
So
nice.
so no Rolex for you and tutors, big
I've
disappointment.
gotten there's something about like I've owned a few tutors now, and every
Yeah.
single time I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I hear you.
It's not. It's
How about
they make it people like will jump on me for this. Yeah, maybe the Pelagos. I'll give that to. I like the FXD also. That's really nice. I've had a few, and I think that it's people like, oh, if you want a Rolex but you want the same quality, get a Tudor. No, not the same quality, and it's not the same design either. I mean, thickness, the same thing that you find with a lot of Omega products. They're a little bit too thick, they're a little bit too large. But the 58 is a great watch. It's just not my cup of tea. I mean, it's just if I'm going to buy the 58, I should wait and buy a Submariner. Listen, I know that's not. I think a lot of people will definitely disagree with that, but they don't do anything for me. After a while, I just sold my last Tudor, which was the P01, one of the cool watches from ugly, big, weird. I had to sell it. I didn't
Chris,
wear
if
it.
the P01 was 12 millimeters thick and 51 millimeters lug to lug, would that have better staying power?
Yeah, but then it would be a Rolex, and they wouldn't do that. So
Yeah.
that's the point. If they made it thinner and smaller, it would compete with Rolex, and they're not going to. There's never going to be a direct competition with Rolex because they know. And people are, oh well, the Hans Wilsdorf Foundation owns them, but they're separate companies. They're not separate companies, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
There's decisions being made because it's all financial. They're not going to make a watch that's better than the Submariner. Their GMT is not going to be better than the Explorer or the GMT Master. It's just not.
Yeah. Colin, I really like the FXD. Tudor is where Rolex used to be about 10 or 15 years ago. Marceau is saying the only Tudor I miss is my Black Bay Bronze. Easy for me too. Seamaster 300 with the skeletonized hands. I would want the ceramic, but those hands. Bobby is saying, I like this Chris guy. The Rolex and Tudor hate is infectious. Chaz always bringing a level of sameness here. It'll all be boring. The world will be boring if we all like the same watches.
Yep.
Absolutely correct. Agreed. Let's see here. I haven't said which watch that I love, right? And would not spend the money on, or can't find myself to spend the money on. And so this watch, look, I hear a lot of people, bring up Cartier as one of these brands where, you love the way they look, but you couldn't pull the trigger on it. And this one for me is the now discontinued, or it's been discontinued for a while, the Roadster. And I don't know, there was something about this watch that I've always really liked. There's a couple of watches that fit this bill, right? There's the Pasha from Cartier as well. Frank Muller, Crazy Hours, right? It's these watches that I just love and can obsess for online, but will probably never ever pull the trigger on. And for me, the Roadster, like I've liked this, love this watch for a while. I've only seen one in the wild on a person. I've seen them in the stores back in the day, but I saw one on a person in the subway in New York City years ago when I was working in Manhattan, and it looked awesome.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm totally gonna get this watch, and I just never got it. And the chrono, I just, I think I just don't see myself wearing a Cartier chrono, especially a Roadster. But I love this watch. It'll always have a place in my heart, but I'll never pick it up. I'll never pick it up. Um, Canadian Watchmaker. Hey, buddy, thank you. Smallest watch you own. Mine is a Nomos Orion 35 millimeter. Mine now is got to be. Whew, I mean, I have 5 watches now, so it's got to be the Sea of Clouds, which I think is like a 40 millimeter case diameter. Um, Chris, do you know off the top of your head what's the smallest watch you own?
34 millimeter Abercrombie and Fitch Seafarer Hoyer. 34.
Dan?
Probably my vintage Omega Seamaster 35 millimeter.
Yeah. Ra?
That Mark 18 IWC.
Yeah.
40 millimeter, but the lug width is like 50. So
Yeah, right. Wolfie?
Longines sector dial,
Okay.
about 38, I think.
That's awesome. You guys had that all ready to answer. That's great.
Bobby,
No,
going back to that Roadster you
yeah,
mentioned,
yeah,
like I ran into one of those at a hotel bar in Long Beach,
yeah.
and it was I never do this, but I saw it on a guy, and I was like, "Hey, got a Cartier Roadster," and he's like, "Oh wow, yeah, you like it?" That watch absolutely jumps off the wrist.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. It
The
was so nice. I took a picture of it. It's on my Instagram.
Yeah.
I showed my wife, and she was like, "Wow, I'd wear that." So right then and there, I'm like, "Ding!"
Yeah.
Where's the credit card? Because guess what's coming, honey?
Yeah.
Surprise!
The three-handers are small, and you can't go small on those. I mean, except for if you give for a gift for your wife, you have to go big, right? And the big roadsters are the chronos, and it's just that's where it's like, oh, I just don't know. To me, when I think Cartier, I don't think chrono.
I don't think I would get it either. A
Yeah.
smaller three-hander for her. Well, for her.
Right. Colin, I own an itty bitty watch, but the lug to lug makes it look huge. All right. Okay. The Tortue Monopusher is the GOAT. That is a beautiful watch.
That's nice. Those have jumped up like crazy.
They have so jumped up in price, right? In the last few years. Yeah.
Like 10x in the past year.
Yeah.
Oh,
Scott is saying Cartier is the best watch. Look, Cartier, they've knocked it out of the park recently, right? I mean, they got some great looking watches out there, and I really do like Cartier. Let's see, everybody's going with their. Ooh,
For the
Pete
number
owned.
spot last year.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, Pete.
1920 Alpina trench watch, 29 millimeters. Oof.
It's like a watch that comes on a doll.
Yeah, 32 millimeter. Tiny watches are for the more sophisticated collectors. Muhammad Ali, yes, he wore a small watch. Absolutely.
So it's interesting too, I think.
Canadian Watch Monkey, smaller watches have class. I have a 35 millimeter Oris Aquas chronograph at 45 millimeter. Cartier Ballon Bleu is another good-looking watch. Kevin S., I always feel good wearing my Tudor GMT, one of my most worn watches. 34 millimeter 1949 Movado. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Final questions, right? So we did the exercise where you saw or seen a watch in pictures and in renders that you loved, and then when you saw it, you didn't like it. How about the opposite? Was there a watch in recent memory that if you got to the AD and you were just blown away, that you would never have considered it, and then now you either bought it or you have considered. I'll start it off. A few months ago I went to the Rolex AD and then I stopped next door to the Omega AD, and I never really, I mean, I appreciate the Seamaster, right? The Seamaster 300, the diver, I appreciate it, right? I know how good it is technically, and how much bang for the buck it is, and it's well received and loved. Never ever thought of getting one though. And then I saw the blue dial with the two-tone Sedna gold, and I was just blown away, and I was obsessed. And I would still consider that a watch that it could be in my future in the next like year or two for sure. Because I want to add a two-tone, and I never thought about adding a two-tone diver, but that is a strong possibility because I just love the way the blue played off the Sedna gold. Dan, you're shaking your head.
You're not a
Do you,
grandpa yet. You're not a grandpa yet.
yeah, but but that's not a grandpa watch though. That's
That's
not
a
a grandpa
grandpa
watch.
watch. Oh
No,
yeah.
stop it.
No,
No, like a date just two tone is a grandpa watch.
No.
no,
No, not even what? No, Wolfgang, the date. Okay,
no.
all right. Well, Dan, has there been a watch that's blown you away?
Yeah, Godzilla. When the press release came out for that, I thought it was way too gimmicky. I love the case because the case came out the year before, and I saw that watch. But yeah, I was like, it's a weak connection with Seiko. They just, the Godzilla printed on the back. I was like, that's stupid. And then I went to my AD, and my AD was like, hey, just check this out. And I looked at it, and I was just like, oh. So yeah.
Chris, how about
So-
yourself?
I've been seeing a lot of Ming out in the wild,
Hmm.
and I never really had too much interaction. And I liked some. That's why I bought the 1801, is because
Okay.
yeah, I just started really liking a lot of their designs, and then originally I didn't really like them, but when I saw them, and I was not that impressed with the crab lugs and the whole thing, and then eventually, as I saw more and more of them, and
You've been hanging out with James.
hanging out with James, taking pictures of the tourbillon and the and Chi, where he has the mosaic, and
Yeah.
like everybody else that is at events, there's like a million people that have Mings, and they're cool. And I've only seen one 1801 out in the wild, like I said, and I just kind of fell in love with it when I tried it on. It's it's a 40 millimeter watch. It's 100 meters of water resistance. It's light. It's grade 5 titanium, which I've actually really liked now. I'm getting a lot of watches in grade. This is in grade 5 titanium. I really like grade 5 titanium because
Yeah.
it doesn't scratch. It's light, and
Doesn't get hot.
watches that are grade 5 titanium now.
Excellent. Cool.
I think you got the best Ming.
Yeah, and the loom on here is insane. Came with the bracelet. I got it under retail, which
Yeah. Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I could keep it, and if I still enjoy it in a few months, I'll keep it. If not, then
Yeah. Nice. AZ Clayton saying, not good in renders, but I bought it, the Omega CK859 on a better strap. It is awesome. That too, yeah, Clayton, I saw that, and that I was very, very impressed with that watch. Uh, for me, going sector dial, I would previously would be like, Longines would be just perfect. For me, I don't need to like, go up market a little bit more and spend more money on a sector dial. I would, after seeing that case back on that, the CK, man, that's such a good looking watch. I'm a big fan. Um, Bobby saying here, Watch Medicine, I went to the Rolex AD and saw the blue dial sky dweller and was blown away by its beauty. Then I woke up in cold sweats from my nightmare. Oh, Bob, you got me. You got me. Godzilla, good choice for sure. Ra, anything that you've seen that you didn't particularly think were now?
Mine was it changed my mind on it. It was very pedestrian on the internet because you see them every day, every 5 seconds. But it was the the new Omega Speedmaster Sapphire Sandwich.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'd
yeah.
always, it's speed, whatever. And then I finally got to see one and try
Mm-hmm.
it on, like the newer one.
Oh yeah,
And I'm like, dang, this is nice. I was like, this is really nice. And the open case back looks good. I
yeah,
like the older open case back better,
yeah,
but this one still looked amazing. And then the vintage style clasp
yeah,
really does it. Like it really brings it together. I love a vintage looking clasp.
yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
great
I've
choice.
think about that a lot lately, but it's not
Yeah,
on the list. But it's
yeah,
just like, ooh, that was a lot nicer than I thought it would be.
yeah. No, no, that's a great choice. My buddy lent me his Speedmaster, the Hesalite new version, and that
Mhm.
bracelet is great. The watch is so comfortable. Mrs. Legs loves it. So, oof. Wayben is saying, I had no interest in the Black Bay 58 until I tried it on. It fits so beautifully and the colors just work. But it also a watch that I still haven't bought. Don't know when or will it happen. I'm a big fan of the Black Bay 58. I've owned a couple. Great watch. Wolfie, what about you?
Dibitun.
Yeah, the
Mm,
one.
yes.
In the when I very hard to find anywhere,
Yeah.
And so I saw videos and pictures, and I thought, not bad, but too gimmicky with the Star Trek-y stuff
Yeah,
going on. And then I saw the first one I saw was on a guy at an event, just sitting there. And even from afar, I thought, ooh, that's way different than I thought. And then at Watchbox,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
trying them on,
You were in
totally
love.
different story. I can't explain why that's so
Yeah,
different, but in the metal, some of those, I mean, not all, but just blew me away. Absolutely love them.
yeah. Dan and I were there. You were totally blown away by that watch. You were
Oh
totally
my
blown away.
god.
Like
The
Especially,
whole
more than
collection
anybody,
was nuts.
more than anybody was blown away by any other watch. I think
Yeah.
you were totally blown away by that watch.
Yeah, because I hated those.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really hated those before. And then when getting to see them in the metal
yeah,
and try them on, and the quality just oozes out of it. It's just I'm a believer now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin saying the new Mings are cool, great on wrist. For me, it's the Tank XL. I didn't think I'd love it as much as I do. Um, let's see here. Scrolling down. Hey, Amin's here. How are you? Rolex doesn't need gimmicks or limited editions to sell watches. Looks like Colin's giving it back to Bobby over here, and that's fair. Well, guys, we're pushing it to 10 o'clock in the evening. I really want to thank you guys for coming. Wolfie, we're gonna miss you on the streams for a few months, but have a safe trip back to the motherland. Really appreciate it. Ra, have a great rest of your business trip. I really appreciate you coming on location.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, Dan, thank you so much. And Chris, really appreciate you coming on. I'm not so happy about my new addiction to whatnot. Thanks to you. But like look, man, you introduced me to the app, and we did the giveaway, and I sold a couple of straps, and I enjoyed. I was getting a little anxious about it, and I actually enjoyed doing that, and it wasn't too much different than handling a normal live stream. The only thing is, I'm just selling some straps and giving away a watch. So the interaction was there, and it was a lot of fun. And now I'm following coins. That's my life now. That's what I do.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a pretty good app. I enjoy it.
but what do you got going on? Anything big coming up, Chris, or any
Not really.
Yeah. Changing the name of the channel to something.
No, not changing the name of the channel. No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
I don't think my name really fits for that sort of thing. But I'm partnering up with Joma Shop again. So
Oh, nice.
so there should be some stuff coming from that very soon. I'm not sure about giveaways, but
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be. We'll see. I'm probably going to be taking over their channel, so we'll see how that goes and
Ooh.
how much time I have to do it. But we're going to see.
Yeah.
That's really it. I mean, collaborations wise, not too much going on.
Yeah. Hey man, but you're already like one of the hardest working content creators, man, and you're working with Yoma Shop. I hope it works out really well for you. If anybody deserves success in this, it's you, and because of all the hard work you put in. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
And chat, great job again. Always appreciate it, guys. Have a good one, and see you on Friday.
Yep.
Have a
See
good
you
night.
then. Take care, guys.
Good night, guys. Thank you, everyone.